Glory to God the Father and Son Yeshua Messiah. Matthew chapter 14. The response of Herod to Jesus. Around that time, Herod, the regional governor, heard of the fame of Yeshua, and said to his attendants, "This must be Yochanan the Immerser. He has been raised from the dead. That is why these miraculous powers are at work in him." The murder of John the Baptist. For Herod had arrested Yochanan, put him in chains and thrown him in prison because of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip. Since Yochanan had told Herod, "It violates the Torah for you to have her as your wife," Herod had wanted to put Yochanan to death, but he was afraid of the people, in whose eyes Yochanan was a prophet. However, at Herod's birthday celebration, Herodias' daughter danced before the company and pleased Herod so much that he promised with an oath to give her whatever she asked. Prompted by her mother, she said, "Give me here on a platter the head of Yochanan the Immerser." The king became deeply upset, but out of regard for the oaths he had sworn before his dinner guests, he ordered that her wish be granted, and sent and had Yochanan beheaded in prison. The head was brought on a platter to the girl, and she gave it to her mother. Yochanan's Talmidim came, took the body and buried it. Then they went and told Yeshua. Jesus feeds 5,000. On hearing about this, Yeshua left in a boat to be by himself in the wilderness, but the people learned of it and followed him from the towns by land. So when he came ashore, he saw a huge crowd, and, filled with compassion for them, he healed those of them who were sick. As evening approached, the Talmidim came to him and said, "This is a remote place and it's getting late. Send the crowds away, so that they can go and buy food for themselves in the villages." But Yeshua replied, "They don't need to go away. Give them something to eat, yourselves." "All we have with us," they said, "is 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish." He said, "Bring them here to me." After instructing the crowds to sit down on the grass, he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and, looking up toward heaven, made a birakah. Then he broke the loaves and gave them to the Talmidim, who gave them to the crowds. They all ate as much as they wanted, and they took up 12 baskets full of the pieces left over. Those eating numbered about 5,000 men, plus women and children. Jesus walks on water. Immediately he had the Talmidim get in the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he sent the crowds away. After he had sent the crowds away, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. Night came on, and he was there alone. But by this time, the boat was several miles from shore, battling a rough sea and a headwind. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, he came toward them, walking on the lake. When the Talmidim saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and screamed with fear. But at once Yeshua spoke to them. "Courage," he said, "it is I. Stop being afraid." Then Kepha called to him, "Lord, if it is really you, tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. So Kepha got out of the boat and walked on the water toward Yeshua. But when he saw the wind, he became afraid, and as he began to sink, he yelled, "Lord, save me." Yeshua immediately stretched out his hand, took hold of him, and said to him, "Such little trust. Why did you doubt?" As they went up into the boat, the wind ceased. The men in the boat fell down before him and exclaimed, "You really are God's Son." Jesus heals the multitudes. Having made the crossing, they landed at Genosar. When the people of the place recognized him, they sent word throughout the neighborhood and brought him everyone who was ill. They begged him that the sick people might only touch the tzitzit on his robe, and all who touched it were completely healed.